Beneath the deserts, under the frozen heart of the Arctic, and at the bottom of the Atlantic's dark trenches, something impossible sleeps. Buried in rock older than the last dinosaur's breath, scientists have found microscopic spheres of rare metals, spheres arranged in patterns identical to those created by modern nuclear explosions. But these aren't from us. They predate humanity by 65 million years. We've always believed we were the first to split atoms, smelt metal, burn fossil fuels. But what if that belief is a lie written by time itself? What if Earth has carried other civilizations before us? Civilizations erased so completely that only a few ghostly fingerprints remain. In the deserts, there are structures half swallowed by sand. In the Arctic ice, chemical signatures that shouldn't exist. In the ocean floor, isotopes with no natural origin. And in the sky above, planets we once thought lifeless, but now show hints they too may have fallen silent after their own golden age. What if the ruins we search for on Mars, on Europa, on distant exoplanets are also here, right beneath our feet? This is the story of the civilizations that might have come before, their rise, their fall, and the one terrifying truth: we could be next. The story doesn't begin with us. It begins with something we can barely imagine, a whisper from a time so deep it makes the rise of humanity feel like yesterday. Far below the cities we've built, past the ruins of our own ancestors, past even the layers where the last dinosaurs lay entombed, there is a stratum of rock, a silent witness, and inside it, spheres, not just any spheres, microscopic globes of rare metals, their surfaces fused smooth by intense heat, the same signature left behind by nuclear fire. But here's the riddle: these tiny relics are 65 million years old. That's before us, before Rome, before pyramids, before apes walked upright, before mammals even ruled the earth. We are told these must be natural, debris from asteroid strikes, or the breath of ancient volcanoes. But the pattern is wrong. They are scattered in a distribution eerily similar to the fallout from modern nuclear tests. They carry isotopes that should not exist in nature without advanced technology. If this were a crime scene, the evidence would be screaming. But geology is a perfect criminal. It buries, it crushes, it melts. Time wipes the fingerprints clean. And yet, every so often, a clue survives. A chemical anomaly in the deep Arctic ice. Something artificial, frozen long before humans. A layer of carbon in desert rock, identical to the residue from fossil fuel combustion, but tens of millions of years too early. A stretch of the Atlantic seafloor where sonar hints at geometric structures half buried in silt. Could these be accidents? Or are they survivors? Survivors of a story older than humanity. Think about it. If our civilization vanished tomorrow, how long before the Earth reclaimed everything? In 500 years, forests would swallow our cities. In 10,000 years, only stone ruins would remain. In a million, nothing but strange, isolated traces in the dirt. Give it 65 million years, and the world would forget we ever existed, except for the few clues too stubborn to vanish, and maybe that's all that's left of them. A people who could split the atom before we even learned to sharpen flint. A people who might have gazed into space and wondered if they were alone, just like us. A people who are now nothing but ghosts in the stone. If they existed, they left us no monuments, no books, no language, only warnings, locked in the crust of our planet. Warnings we may be too arrogant to hear, because if they rose and they fell, then what's stopping it from happening again? Science has a term for this idea, the Silurian Hypothesis. It asks a question that feels like heresy. If another technological civilization rose before us, how would we even know? The answer is chilling. We probably wouldn't. The Earth is a master of erasure. In just a few thousand years, concrete crumbles, glass returns to sand, steel rusts into dust. Oceans shift, mountains rise, glaciers grind the surface like sandpaper. After millions of years, the planet's crust recycles itself, burying, melting, and remaking everything. But there is one thing the Earth cannot hide: chemistry. In the rocks and ice, scientists have found spikes, sudden unnatural changes in isotope ratios. For example, uranium enriched in a way nature doesn't produce, suggesting nuclear fission. Or an excess of heavy metals like platinum and iridium, in layers with no asteroid impact to explain them. And then there are the carbon anomalies, abrupt surges of carbon-12 in ancient sediment, the same kind of spike our own industrial age is producing right now, from burning coal, oil, and gas. But these spikes are millions of years older than humans. It's as if, long before us, something else discovered fossil fuels and paid the same price we are beginning to pay. Some geologists argue these are natural events, volcanic eruptions, methane bursts, asteroid strikes, and maybe they're right. But what if they're not? What if, buried in those numbers, is the signature of an intelligence we've never met, a civilization erased so completely we mistake their ruins for the work of nature? If so, they didn't just vanish, they were obliterated. And whatever force ended them, climate collapse, asteroid, or their own hand, might still be out there, waiting for us to repeat their story. Because history is a cycle, and maybe this isn't the first time Earth has spun it. If traces of the past are scattered across deserts and buried in rock, then the poles guard their own secrets, locked away beneath miles of ice. The Arctic and Antarctic are not just barren wastelands, they are time capsules. Within their frozen layers lie chemical records stretching back hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of years. And recently, those ice cores have revealed something unsettling: sudden, unexplained temperature jumps, massive methane releases, and traces of industrial-like soot from a time when humans didn't exist. In the heart of Antarctica, radar has detected strange geometric patterns beneath the ice, shapes that look eerily deliberate. Some dismiss them as unusual rock formations. Others whisper of lost cities swallowed by glaciers long before our history began. And then there are the deserts, once lush and green. The Sahara, for example, hides beneath its sands the fossilized remains of rivers, lakes, and forests. Satellite scans have even revealed structures, vast, symmetrical patterns that nature doesn't typically make. The Atlantic Ocean has its own whispers. Sonar mapping has found massive rectangular formations on the seafloor, structures too big, too straight to be volcanic ridges. Theories range from lost civilizations to ancient tectonic anomalies. Everywhere we look, from the frozen ends of the Earth to the burning deserts, the planet seems to carry faint fingerprints of something older, something that doesn't quite belong to the natural cycle we know. If these patterns are coincidence, then they are extraordinary ones. If they're not, then maybe the truth has been hiding, not in deep space, but here all along, buried beneath ice, sand, and salt water, waiting for us to notice. Before we can truly understand the mysteries buried in our own world, we must look up, far beyond the clouds, into the black oceans of space, where time is measured not in centuries, but in billions of years. Our planet is not alone in its scars. The moon is pockmarked with ancient wounds from meteor impacts, older than any life on Earth. Mars bears dry riverbeds and canyons so vast they dwarf anything we've built. Jupiter's moon, Europa, hides an ocean beneath its ice, a place that could shelter life even now, and yet none of these places seem to hum with the strange, half-forgotten patterns we find here. In the silence of space, there are whispers, signals that reach us from impossibly far away. Some are from distant stars, others remain unexplained. What if some of those signals are not random? What if they are records, remnants of civilizations that rose and fell long before we appeared? Because here on Earth, we have patterns too. They're just harder to see. 65 million years ago, dinosaurs ruled this planet. Then, in the space of a geological heartbeat, they were gone. The accepted story is an asteroid strike, a fiery death from the sky. But around the same time, in the oldest layers of rock, scientists have found microscopic spheres of rare metals, and these spheres aren't alone. In deserts, we find glass-like landscapes, fields of melted sand, as if the Earth itself had been flash-heated to extreme temperatures. In the depths of the ocean, cores pulled from ancient sediments contain chemical anomalies, isotopes that shouldn't exist in such abundance without advanced industry. The question that no one dares ask is, who? If we didn't make these, then what did? The Silurian Hypothesis, a scientific thought experiment, dares to wonder, could an advanced civilization have thrived here millions of years before us, only to vanish without a trace? Geological time is a ruthless eraser. Given a few million years, steel turns to dust, concrete crumbles into sand, and cities are swallowed by shifting land and oceans. If there were skyscrapers, libraries, or machines, the Earth's surface would have recycled them long ago. We think we're the first. But look closely enough, and it seems we are walking over the graves of worlds we never knew existed. Perhaps they reached for the stars, as we do now. Perhaps they fell victim to the same dangers we fear: climate collapse, war, or cosmic disaster. Or perhaps they left. And if they left, the night sky might hold their fingerprints still, scattered among the stars. From the black void of space, Earth spins silently, a fragile sphere draped in oceans and clouds. But to truly see it, not as we do now, but as it was, we must strip away the cities, the roads, the lights, peel back the centuries, then the millennia, then the millions of years, until all that remains is a world untouched, a world before us. We have journeyed far, through the Arctic vaults of time, where frozen isotopes whisper of an atmosphere that once burned hotter than it should have, as if something ancient had poisoned the sky. We dove into the oceans of memory, feeling the cold Atlantic currents swirl around ruins that should not exist, roads and walls hidden beneath the waves. We stood before the machines of stone, formations so precise, so deliberate they defy the crude hands of nature. And we walked through the shadow of the last great silence, that eerie stretch of geological time where life simply vanished. No warning, no reason, only silence. Each clue was a fragment, but together they paint a haunting picture, that Earth may have been home to civilizations far older than our own. Civilizations that built, dreamed, and maybe even reached for the stars, only to vanish without a trace. Their story buried beneath eons of wind, ice, and ocean. Look up at the night sky. Those stars burn with the same light they saw, the same constellations that may have guided their ships, their calendars, their myths. Somewhere their dreams may still drift as dust between the planets. And now, we stand at the edge of our own story. We've split the atom, we've burned the skies, we've changed the climate. In the end, will we leave behind only isotopes in the soil? Will some distant species, millions of years from now, dig through the rock and find traces of us and wonder the same question we ask today? History doesn't always move forward. Sometimes it loops. Sometimes the dawn you think is the first is just the one before the last night. Perhaps we were never the beginning. Perhaps we are just the next forgotten chapter. In conclusion, across deserts where the sands have swallowed empires and hidden bones older than history, beneath Arctic ice that guards worlds untouched for millions of years, and deep within the bedrock where time itself has locked away secrets older than the moon we see every night, whispers still linger. They speak of civilizations that rose in glory, mastered the forces of nature, reached for the stars, and then vanished without a trace. Long before we learned to carve stone, to forge steel, to split the atom, others may have walked this path. Every strange isotope buried in ancient rock, every unexplained ruin standing where no hands should have built, every gap in the fossil record wide enough to hide entire chapters of existence, these are the silent witnesses. They are breadcrumbs scattered in the darkness, daring us to follow. We have declared ourselves the first, the only masters of this world. But history is fragile. It can be rewritten, erased by the waves of time, or shattered in an instant by a single discovery. And when that day comes, when truth finally claws its way out of the abyss of forgotten ages, we may realize something unsettling. We are not the beginning of the story at all. We are only the latest verse in an ancient, endless song. One that began long before we opened our eyes, and one that may continue long after we are gone. The story isn't over. It's only waiting for its next chapter. Thanks for watching.